I was about 16 years old when I was introduced to meth and started using drugs pretty heavily. Found myself sleeping on random people's couches for a couple of years. You know, my dad, my sweet dad, just at some point said, you know, I have these 4 other kids that I need to look after. And after calling the police so many times to look for me, he kind of had to release me to my own choices. When I was 19, I had actually moved away from Tucson, where I grew up, kind of to just get my act together, thinking if I just move away and find a new group of people, I can kind of change my scene. And, you know, you can move all day, but you still go where you go. I remember having thoughts like, yeah, I know this guy's not a great guy, but he's probably as good as it's gonna get. He's probably what I deserve. Even so much so that I walked down the aisle with someone in my early 20s who promised to love me, promised to take care of me and my now 2-year-old son. And I remember walking down the aisle thinking, I hope this all works out. That shame and rejection and embarrassment, like this is it. Like this is, you know, I've done everything to shame my family, and now here I am going through a divorce because of adultery, because of drug addiction, because of a porn addiction. So for several years after that, I was a single mom, and I began my journey of healing. And what that looked like for me was not dating, was not putting myself in situations where men were at all part of the healing part for me. But the Lord really brought a lot of women into my life who spoke truth to me, who encouraged me, who looked me in the eye despite of all of my past and told me that I was a daughter of the King and that I was worthy of love and that I was a new creation in Christ. And I have to say, I didn't believe it right away. It took several times of these women kind of speaking that truth into me. And our first date, actually our first several dates was like, hey, I'm going out with my friends. If you want to come, you can come, but I'm not going anywhere with you alone. That was our first couple dates. But our first real date, and when it was just him and I think I drilled him with questions like, what's your history with drugs? Have you ever been addicted to pornography? Have you been married before? Have you been in jail before? I mean, just these really, which he endured. I mean, he endured all these questions from me, this girl who had been so hurt. And I told him on that first date my whole past, just everything. I just wanted him to know, before I committed my life to Jesus, this is who I was. And he just smiled at me and said, you know, that's who you were. So when we got married on January 11th, 2007, I was getting ready to walk down the aisle, and a friend of mine was praying with me. And I thought to myself, I have never been more sure about anything in my whole life. And I remember thinking, should I be this relaxed? Should I be this calm? Our marriage is just an incredible picture of God's grace. And whether you have a relationship with the Lord, whether you are a person of faith or not, I would ask you to try something and to pray to the Creator of the universe, who I believe is Jesus Christ, and ask Him to help you. Because it wasn't until I understood how God saw me that I could understand who I was fully. Now I'm not as concerned about what people think. Now I'm comfortable in my own skin. But I am who I am today because I've been able to heal from those places. I have 2 beautiful girls and a teenage son. We talk pretty openly about how life is tough, and it's not so much avoiding hard things, but how do we walk through those hard things. And it's just the best, hardest job ever, to be a mommy of these kids and to get to do life with my husband. And it's pretty crazy that this is my life today.
My name is Elisa, and I am Scarred Beautiful.